Dreams. We all have them. In our current Western culture, we don't honor them so much. It's like, whatever, I just dreamed this weird dream, and like, meh, or like this scary dream, or like, and we disregard this deep process in the subconscious. So the teachings that I've had around dreams is that dreams are, that there's 4 types of dreams. There's your lucid dream, which is where you're actively engaging in the ethers. There is the medicine dream, which is where you're receiving medicine gifts. There's the prophetic dream, which is where you were seeing the future and dreaming the future. And then there is the subconscious garbage process. And so that's just your personal narratives trying to figure out what the heck is going on with the whole world, with everything, and processing it all. So we've got lots of dream interpretation books, things like this, and then there's discussions around archetypes. And so what is an archetype is that an archetype is something that has been done in the human experience enough times that it has created a image, an icon in the consciousness of all humanity. That, if you've watched my other videos, is probably the memories in that purple chakra that's in the back of our head, the ancestral memories. And so archetypes are these patterns. So at times archetypes do come through the dreams, but the most important thing to know with is that your dream is always personal. So your dream is your body. So we have our body here in a beautiful hand. This is your dream body, very accessible. It's right here in line with the rest of it. This is your mental body, where we think about things. This is your emotional body. This is your heart, and this is your physical body in your belly. Now and then this is your connection to God, source, collective consciousness, things like this, creator. See how it's kind of over? You have to put a little effort to get over to this guy. But together, these two give us the capacity to make beauty and bring the inspiration to the world. Also bunnies. Any which way. In the evening, what it goes on is that we sit up from our physical body and we have a cord from our belly button that is about the size of a toonie. And we begin to walk away from the body and we start to explore. Some of us are not big explorers in the ethers. We stay at home, we stay within our community, we do the same things that we do every day, and we like that. We're just fine with that. Explorers, philosophers, artists often will wander further out in the ethers and they end up bumping into other things, discovering things, archetypes, narratives, things where people have put a lot of collective consciousness into will create a space and a world in the ethers because it's very fast manifestation up there. So we can go and explore different ideas. This is why we can run into other artists' ideas and come up it's like the 100 monkey theory. It's because there's enough consciousness funneling into a space, and then as artists wander around in the night, they come running into these manifestation bubbles that are beginning to get weight to them. And then all of a sudden people are creating the same art piece that you thought about. So it's about loosening the ego in those senses and knowing that the things that you discover aren't necessarily yours, but they are necessary to be manifested into reality at this time. And in my teachings, as a theosophist, you are here as an artist, you are here to bring spirit to the masses. And it's in essence of this process that makes me think that, yeah, that makes sense. So when you're dreaming, the rest of the world knows that dreams are very important. That there's 4 kinds of dreams you're having, and they'll either tell you a lot about yourself. They'll be able to deal with your emotional stuff before it comes down. So when dis-ease begins, it first shows up in our dreams. Then it shows up in our mental body, then it shows up in our emotional body, then it shows up in our physical body. So when there's dis-ease and you're getting sick, it's because you haven't dealt with it in these other places that you could have dealt with it in. So when you're dreaming and you're having a reoccurring dream, it's because you are not looking at something. You are in a pattern and you are not facing it. And your subconscious is like, yo, come on, take a look at this kind of thing. And it's trying to show you something, Now, what does that have to do? Pull out a dream journal, we start looking at these things, and some of it resonates, some of it doesn't. That's because what you need to do is create your own personal dream journal. You record your dreams every day, 500 dreams is the ideal amount that you want to get. So the way that you keep your dreams is, one, you tell yourself before you go to bed, I'm going to remember my dream. I'm going to remember my dream. I'm going to remember my dream. You can drink a glass of water and you'll wake up in the middle of the night, and that can induce lucid dreaming, because you go back to sleep 5 minutes to an hour after being woken up, and you will often lucid dream and have more physical. So if you're trying to touch into lucid dreaming, you can have a half glass of water to a full cup of water. You will wake up to urinate, hopefully, and then that'll help break up the night so that you can attempt to start doing lucid dreaming. If you're attempting to do lucid dreaming, the first thing you want to do is try and locate your hands. Try to force yourself to look at your hands when you are dreaming. And it's one of the first steps, because then you begin to control the dream world. But we're not talking about lucid dreaming at this moment. We're talking about just regular dreaming. We want to interpret our subconscious. So what you do is you tell yourself you're going to remember your dream. You have a little dream journal beside your bed. You try and wake up without any interruptions. No alarm, no shocking like, shooting out of bed, the lights all of a sudden going on, things like this. I often keep one eye closed, and I grab my journal and I begin to write. And I first write down all the little notes of all the funny little inklings of all the aspect of the dream. Oh yeah, there was that blue car. Oh yeah, there was that thing with my brother. Oh yeah, there was that platform with those two women having a picnic, and then the ladder that I couldn't, it was not stable ladder, but it was curved ladder. And I make little key notes so that as I get into the details of the dream, I don't forget about the rest of the dream. Because it's like grasping at smoke, dreams. So often just starting with the tail end, very gently coaxing it back and getting little glimpses, and then, oh yeah, okay, yeah, okay. And then writing down everything you can. Once you've done writing down your dream, you can go back through, and wherever you have nouns, you do word association. So person, place, or thing. And then the first thing that pops into your mind. And so you do a little shoot up, and you write down from each noun the first things that your psyche associates that with. Red cars. This one time, that weird guy in the red car. Red cars are fast. Red cars are scary for some reason. And whatever the first things that pop up for each of the nouns. Then you go back through and you reread your dream by reading the word associations. And this way you can begin to decipher your own personal dream psyche, your psyche, and you can create your own personal dream dictionary. They suggest that you get 500 of your dreams and do this process with all the nouns and all the verbs, and then you will have your own personal dream dictionary. As you're going through things too, looking at what is your ancestral heritage, what is your ancestral narrative, mythologies and stories that would have been told in your folklore prior to colonization happening. What were your family speaking? What were they dancing? What was their culture prior to the witch burnings and being told that they had to be simpler and not so in tune to the elements? Taking a look at those things, looking at stories, listening to the world around you. So hopefully that helps with dream interpretation. Numbers, feelings are big. So taking note of the feelings that you're having in the dream, huge telling you about what's going on. So very important, not just to put the details around, but also what is the sensation you are experiencing, what feelings are you having, and just noting as much detail as you can about your dream. And then just, unpacking it. What do these things remind me of? Me personally, because it's your psyche. And then, looking at ancestral narratives, folklores, because there will be iconography from your tribal roots and your elemental beginnings that will have narratives popping up in your subconscious from that purple chakra in the back of your head. So be well. Happy dreaming. Dreams are wonderful, and like I said, the rest of the world knows that they are worthwhile. It's just Western culture indoctrination, colonization theories that say, nah, it's just a dream. Well, dreaming, it's that one chunk, it's the top part of the body, and it's the first place you can deal with dis-ease. So unpack your dreams, keep yourself healthy.